Hello everyone and welcome to our PrEP Parent Information session. Unfortunately, due to the current situation, we've had to move to this version of our presentation. However, we'll go through some general information for you and a bit more PrEP specific information. Before getting started, I'd just like to do our welcome to country. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting, the Bunurong people. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and those emerging and the Aboriginal elders of the community which may be here today. We are going to have a look at our school values briefly, which is kindness, empathy, gratitude, respect and excellence. I'd like to introduce you to our team, our PrEP team for 2021. We have myself, Miss Molly Nugent and Mr. Garen Sandler. Also working within our PrEP Learning Centre, we have some learning enhancement and support teachers. We've got Mrs. Jacinta Conway, who's our Wellbeing and Learning Enhancement teacher, Miss Alicia Cox, who's one of our education support teachers, and Mrs. Sharon McBean, who's one of our educational support teachers as well. I'd like to hand over now to our physical education teacher, Mr. Richard Hayward, who takes our students when they go across for their physical education lessons. Thank you, Richard.
Hi all PrEP parents, this is Mr. Hayward from the PE department. Just to give you an idea of what we're going to be working on with the students in 2021. We're developing the fundamental movement skills of throwing, catching, kicking and moving. We want to encourage physical literacy. With those skills, students will be able to partake in any games they want to do. We're going to use fun-based games and activities to encourage learning. Within these games and activities, we'll be working on the school values, emphasising teamwork and participation. We want students to develop a passion for physical activity, exercise and sport. Also to ensure the students know their capabilities and how to partake in a safe and controlled environment. For example, this week we were doing whistle practice and movement. Introduce the students to small-sided games with an emphasis of rules and cooperation, so developing their team and communication skills, and start to address what a healthy lifestyle consists of, i.e. activity, nutrition and wellbeing. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Richard. I'd now like to introduce our visual arts teacher, Miss Fiona Grace, who will give us a bit of a brief overview of what they're doing in our visual arts sessions this year. Thanks, Fiona.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Grace. I'm the visual art teacher at Keysborough Gardens Primary School. The focus for our PrEP students in 2021 will be on developing basic skills and techniques for using various art materials and refining their fine motor skills, developing an understanding of colours and how they are created, as well as exploring some of our elements of art, such as line, colour, shape, form, texture, space and tone. We'll also be observing artworks and exploring where and why art is made, building confidence in creating artwork that they can be proud of and that they may share with each other and exhibit around the school, and engaging in discussion amongst peers about what they are creating, sharing ideas, what things they like, what they like to do, keeping the art room a fun and enjoyable social place to be. This also comes into our art club, which we have started for PrEP to 2 on Tuesdays at lunchtime that children can come along to. Thank you.
Thanks to Fiona. I'd now like to introduce our performing arts teacher, Miss Jane Setford, who will be teaching our students in performing arts this year. Over to you, Jane.
The focus for PrEP students in 2021 will be on music and drama. In music, they will develop basic skills and techniques, playing on the classroom instruments, exploring rhythms and pitch notation, learning to echo, writing notation, reading notation, and create one-bar rhythms using tar, TT and sa. They'll be learning solfa pitch, do, re, mi, using the voice, through songs and simple games. In drama, they'll be role-playing through songs and games. Students will also explore songs using costumes and props in the Three Bears rap, Where the Wild Things Are, and using puppets in the Three Billy Goats Gruff. There's also instrumental lessons at the school that provide lessons in keyboard, piano, guitar, violin and drums. For preppies, there will be 2 15-minute lessons. The forms can be collected from the Performing Arts Room or the office if you're interested in instrumental lessons. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. I'd finally like to introduce our Mandarin Chinese teacher who has just joined us this year, and that is Mr. Tong Sha. He'll be taking our students once a week to go and have their Mandarin lessons. Thank you to Mr. Sha.
Hi, I am Mr. Sha, Mandarin Chinese teacher at Keysborough Gardens Primary School. In prep year level, students will become aware of Chinese as a separate language to English, and that other languages exist within their own classroom, their country, and overseas. Secondly, they will begin to recognize the importance of tone in Chinese speech and observe that the sounds of Chinese can be encoded into pinyin using familiar letters. They will also develop a basic proficiency in structured and routine interactions in daily life situations, such as greeting, self-introducing, or expressing gratitude. Lastly, they will also engage with traditions and customs, festivals, celebrations, and food of Chinese communities, recognizing the value of learning about another culture in learning a new language.
Hi Prep Parents, I'm Garen and I'm going to be going through with you on a few slides. Alright, so I'm just going to play this video for you all to watch. Hopefully it works. Okay. Okay, so there was a lot of information to look at there, but I'm going to just give you a brief summary of what we just played you. So, this is where our world is heading towards. This is where your children, our students, are heading. That they will be a part of this future. So what we're trying to do here at Keysborough is prepare them for this. How are we going to do this? Well, let us show you. All right. So first of all, we'll be looking at the PYP, the Primary Years Program. Okay, through the PYP, we will be looking to create internationally minded students. Some of you will be asking, Well, what does that mean? International mindedness means adopting a certain value system of kindness, tolerance, and acceptance of multiple viewpoints. This is achieved in our teaching by adopting these approaches to learning, as you can see on the screen, whilst also incorporating transdisciplinary teaching through relating our unit of inquiry to maths, English, and science. So, to start off the year, we are looking at a whole school unit of inquiry, and for our preps, we're looking at a central idea. And our central idea is communities are there to support us. You may have heard your children singing our central idea at home, which we really broke down and asked them to really dig deep into what it means, what it means to be a part of a community. So our current unit focuses around communities, and our central idea being communities are there to support us. Our transdisciplinary theme looks at how we organize ourselves, which is an inquiry into our interconnectedness of human-made systems and communities and the structure and function of organizations, societal decision-making, economic activities, and their impact on humankind and the environment. This theme will be an overarching theme throughout the year. So I will now pass on to Molly.
Thanks, Garen. My name is Miss Nugent, who may not have met me before. I'm now going to be looking at our wellbeing at Keysborough Gardens. So at our school, we put into place many proactive, presentative programs and activities to support our kids and build their social and emotional capabilities. Social and emotional wellbeing and development of students' social skills is a key component of PrEP. And through these programs, we aim to support your child's wellbeing. The Zones of Regulation is a program we use which allows students to regulate their emotions and identify what zone they are in. You may have heard some of your children talk about those 4 different coloured zones. We also discuss and build strategies in a toolbox that students can use to shift back into the green zone throughout their day. The green zone is a zone where they are ready and focused for their learning. We have also created a PrEP Essential Agreement that all students share their ideas of what behaviours we wish to see in our PrEP community. Students then collectively agree to follow these by adding their own individual leaf to our PrEP growing tree. I will now be talking about our school nurse program. Michelle Baker is the nurse that has been allocated to our school, and she comes out to work with our PrEP students. This is an opportunity the Department of Education offers for students starting in a government school. We encourage all families to take this opportunity for your child. A notice about this will be coming in the coming weeks. Extracurricular activities, clubs and lunchtime activities. These will be up and running soon at Keysborough Gardens Primary School. These will be run by classroom teachers and might consist of activities such as chess club, puzzle club, art club, etc. These are a great way to support students who need assistance in the yard, but also to build those social skills across the school. We suggest you encourage your child to attend the club once they are up and running. A school production and performance may be an opportunity we may have at the school this year. So we also have that throughout the end of the year related to our unit of inquiry in Term 4. Extracurricular activities and incursions. At KGPS, we offer a music program and a swimming program. These programs are an additional programs at your own cost. The swimming program is hopefully due to start this week. The music program runs during class time and is a fantastic addition to your child's education. If you are interested in your child participating and learning a musical instrument, please let your child's classroom teacher know and we can assist you in signing them up. I know many of them have already signed up and they are loving this program so far. Excursions and incursions levy. Throughout the year, students will participate in numerous incursions and excursions. There is a $120 fee that needs to be paid to the office for your child to attend these. Some examples of the incursion and excursions we have hopefully going to plan this year are having the local firefighters come out, the local police and the local ambulance. We're also planning on attending the zoo, maybe even seeing a performance. These all excursions and incursions usually relate to our unit of inquiry that we are looking at in PrEP. I'm now going to talk about the PMP program. What is this? At Keysborough Gardens Primary School, we are aiming to run a perceptual motor program during Prep 2021. This program aims to develop students' muscle coordination, hand-eye coordination, motor coordination skills and balance through a wide variety of physical activities. Many of these skills assist students in mastering other areas of the curriculum, such as writing, reading and mathematics. Therefore, this program is extremely important. So this is an additional program on top of their physical education that they run as well. I'm now going to pass on to Mrs. Matlock, Rebecca, to talk about how we teach in prep at Keysborough Gardens Primary School.
Thank you, Molly. We're now going to look at how we teach at Keysborough Gardens Primary School, and it does look a little bit different to what most of you might be used to. When you come into our learning centre, we at the moment have got 3 different spaces set up in our learning centre, and that's our homeroom at the moment. While our students settle into the year, we will continue to have our homerooms, but as the students become more confident with being at school, we will begin to continue to move the students around and to work with different students and different teachers. We also have our Learning Enhancement and Wellbeing program, which is catered to our students within our learning community. It is our response to intervention and a multi-tiered system of support. The Learning Enhancement model aims to support the vision and mission of the school. The model can be aligned to academic and social and emotional learning. It involves this multi-tiered system that we can see on the screen and a range of supports that are used to extend and intervene, which are included in the design of our curriculum to ensure we can monitor and track each child and support our learners to meet their potential. This ensures that we are teaching to the children's point of need and our learners are both motivated and engaged in their learning progress. Ways in which we may differentiate at Keysborough Gardens Primary School, led by our Learning Enhancement leader Jacinta Conway, we identify students that need additional support at various times in their learning journey. We may differentiate the way that the content is delivered, the process in which we deliver the content to students, and the product at the end. That's what the expected outcome is at the end of their learning. In addition to this, we ensure that learners can participate in the curriculum using a responsive and flexible approach. We do co-teaching at Keysborough Gardens Primary School, and you may start to hear your children coming home and talking about working in the cave, watering hole, campfire, plains, and jungle. This is not actual jungles or caves, but it's the way that we set out our furniture and have our spaces so that we can create different learning zones and displays. In the cave, students will work independently and have a quiet place to learn. The watering hole provides students the opportunity to learn from each other. Our campfire is where we engage in our whole class discussions around a particular topic, and it's where we do our explicit teaching. The plains is an independent work area which is used in the general classroom space. And finally we have the jungle, which is a teacher-led support space where students can come if they feel they need a little bit of extra help with what we are learning. We encourage all students to have a growth mindset and try and build their resilience and independence. This is something we talk about a lot with our students, and we talk about having the learning pit, where students start learning and they think they know the answer. Then they get to, oh, it's not as easy as I thought, I'm a bit confused, and that's the bottom of the pit that you can see there. Then they need to decide, oh, I need to really work at this, I think I'm getting it, and here's the success. It's when students are in the pit that they often need the most support from us, and we often utilise our learning support and enhancement team to help support our students as well. This is the curriculum that we teach at Keysborough Gardens. So this is the what we are teaching, and our International Baccalaureate is how we are teaching. So you can see here there's a lot of units that are covered throughout the school. In our classroom we focus mainly on English, the humanities, mathematics, science, technologies, and the capabilities. We use digital technology to support and enhance our learning in the Prep Learning Centre. We have 3 Promethean TVs, which are touchscreen TVs that we use to involve some gross motor skills by getting students to reach and grab things and move things across our screens, and also to enhance and support learning. We also have a number of iPads that we use to enable students to collaborate and to facilitate further learning and practice set skills. All students and parents will need to sign our acceptable user agreement, which will be coming home in this pack hopefully, or otherwise early next week. I'll now hand back over to Molly, who will give us a brief overview of our English curriculum within the classroom.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm now going to look at the English curriculum and just give a brief overview about what this looks like in prep. So as you can see on this slide, the English curriculum is divided into 3 components. It is reading and viewing, writing, and speaking and listening. The way we look at the curriculum and when we teach our lessons, if you can see over on the side, is a little graph showing how we do our lessons. So we start with a little warm-up, then we'll have a mini lesson, and then we have our work time conferences. All students need of varying levels of the components of the curriculum. Think of it like a piece of cake, and these pictures will be able to help you understand what I'm talking about. Some students need a focus on speaking, listening, and social skills. Some need a focus on phonics, whereas some might need a focus on writing. However, these are transdisciplinary, like Mr. Sandler said, with our PYP program, and all students' needs and levels are met. So you will see in these pictures how different varying levels and components of the curriculum might be different for every student. I'm now going to have a quick chat about reading, and we start with in prep the letters and sounds program to build students' phonemic awareness, explicitly teaching them the sound each letter makes. We then start to explore phonograms and graphemes, building their letter and sound relationships. Once students have an understanding of this, we move into decoding and blending those sounds into words. Once confident with this, reading skills begin, and in prep we aim to continue and grow students' love for reading. When students begin to read, we have a focus on comprehension, which is moving beyond just reading the words and making meaning of what they are reading. Students need to develop skills of understanding what they are reading, accuracy and fluency, and the teaching and learning of these skills are key, as if not, a focus of a love of reading and critical thinking about texts in older years is harder to build. So we really like to focus on students, once they understand to reading, their meaning behind the reading. I'm now going to pass on to Mr. Garen Sandler, who is going to talk about mathematics in the prep curriculum.
Hi there. So, throughout the year in maths, we look at the following 3 strands, focusing around these 4 proficiencies. So we look at number and algebra, measurement, geometry, statistics, and probability. Across these 3 components run the 4 proficiencies. So we really look at the students' understanding, their fluency, their problem-solving skills, and their reasoning. So making reason with what they've learnt and being able to share and talk about what they've discovered in maths. So, essential aspects of mathematics at KGPS. We look at the prior knowledge of our students, what they already know. We assess using Maths Online interviews and observations. We make sure we have clear learning intentions and making sure that we start our learning intentions with our students and that are co-created so the students are aware that they are learning to or learning that statements to help the students understand what they will be learning in the lesson. We look at our success criteria. So we talk to the students about, at the end of the lesson, they'll know that they've been successful when they can achieve the following learning intentions, and also building on foundation skills. Our mathematics is modeled through various different keys, through differentiation, which I'll touch on in a minute, whole class investigations, teacher focus groups, independent tasks, using hands-on materials, using ICT resources, and reflecting on what we've learnt. So, how we differentiate at KGPS. We like to look at it like a chili. Okay, so we have our extra mild chili, our mild, spicy, and hot chili. So, I'll explain this a little bit more. So, we have varying entry points in maths. We have our chilies through our green to red, and we really look at the students having different entry points to the same activity. So if you look at the numbers on the left here, some students might be able to start at a green chili, maybe being able to write the number in words, drawing it, and we really try and make these differentiated levels very transparent, allowing students to move through the spiciness, as you could say, of the chili, and really working towards potentially working at an extended level of a hot chili. Students are able to move in between these differentiated levels and really try and get them to push what their boundaries of mathematics. I'll now pass over to Mrs. Matlock to talk about STEM.
Another area that we cover in our curriculum is STEM. It is a word that you might hear thrown around a lot at the moment, and it stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. And what it does is it gives us a bit of an umbrella for what we're actually teaching, and it gives us the chance to teach some science and STEM inquiry skills, which include questioning and predicting, planning and conducting, recording and processing, analysing and evaluating, and communicating. And it gives us a chance to bring in some of our science strands and ICT as well. And we normally use some sort of provocation where we might say to students, I want you to make something that floats and something that moves. And we give them a whole heap of different materials, and we allow students to question and predict what they're doing, plan what they're going to do, record the process, and then evaluate their design at the end. And the most important part is communicating. And this also brings in some of our speaking and listening from our other areas of the curriculum. Another question we often get asked is, what can we do at home to help our students? Daily reading is something that's really important to be continuing at home, and it can be either your child reading to you or you reading with your child. Even just for 10 minutes each day really helps to improve your child's vocabulary, and having some regular discussions about your child's day can also really help. We're continuing to work with developing the independence and responsibility with the students at school, and this can be something that you can continue at home. So trying to maintain a routine of packing their bags, putting on their own shoelaces, opening their own lunch boxes, and getting themselves organised for each day. You can also play games that relate to maths and literacy. You can help build social skills and development, and you can also use some of our online programs such as Math Seeds. Some of the things that I like to do at home with my children are even little things like playing I Spy or playing simple rhyming games like I'm thinking a word that rhymes with Weible, and then we try and guess it's a table.
Communication at Keysborough Gardens Primary School. Our main form of communication is through Compass. Through here you will see your student Semester 1 and Semester 2 reports, as well as progress reports, weekly newsletters, and our prep fortnightly communication, and information regarding fees and permissions for excursions and incursions, as well as daily updates throughout the day if they are required. Our school Facebook page and website is somewhere else where we do our communication as well. At Keysborough Gardens, we also conduct regular student-led conferences, allowing students to reflect and take responsibility of their learning. All students will also have a digital portfolio, which hopefully will be up and running in Term 2, where students can display their achievements and ongoing learning. All teachers will always have an open door, so if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to come and ask your child's teacher, or make a time to meet with them if it's not possible when you come in the morning. Mr. Sandler is now going to talk about our prep playground.
Hi there. So, our prep playground is located just in front of the prep classroom doors, which I'm sure many of you have seen so far. Our preps have a designated area in which they play in, and will be their main play area, at least for the time being, until we've notified the preps that they can play elsewhere in the school. So we've got the front of our prep classrooms, the sandpit, the front of the school, and the grassy area near the water tanks, and the preps are allowed to go and play on the big playground. In addition, we do notice some playground issues, and we notice that bullying can be a term thrown around a lot. we know that the students in prep tend to say, he's being mean to me or she's being mean to me. What we do is we encourage the students to tell the yard duty teacher on duty so that the matter is dealt with promptly, or telling the teacher as they arrive back in class. Usually we find that preps remember something happening a few days later when the issue has already been forgotten, and we encourage the students to tell us as quickly as they can so that it is fresh in their memory. Now I'll be talking about school uniforms. So at Keysborough Gardens, we have a school uniform, as I'm sure most of you have seen. So there's just a few things you guys need to know about our school uniform. We really would like all of your child's clothes labelled, including hats. All right. We also have our swimming coming up. So this is really important that all of your child's clothes are clearly labelled on the label so that we know if they've dropped anything. We also have a hat and sun smart policy. So in terms 1 and 4, all students need to be wearing the Keysborough Gardens hat when they're outside in the yard. And lastly, all students need to be wearing black shoes with either white or navy socks. I will now pass on to the next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Sandler. To begin the day, the teachers will open the door at 8:45 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday mornings, and 8:30 on a Wednesday. This is aimed to assist students in settling in and being ready to begin their learning by 9 o'clock. This also allows you to come in and have a quick morning check-in with us if necessary. If you are late, we do ask that you please take your child to the office to be signed in, and then they will be walked down to the Prep Learning Centre. Finish times on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday is at 3:30 and 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. If you are picking up your child in the Kiss and Go zone, please communicate with this with your child, and a teacher will walk them to along the gate and they will wait for you to look for your car and come out when they see you. Now going to pass on to Rebecca to finish off with a few slides talking about some important reminders.
We have just a few final reminders to finish our session off today. We have a take in and take out policy in regards to lunch boxes, so please make sure when you're packing things for your child, it's in easy things that they can open, and then you will notice that we'll be sending any rubbish home in their lunch boxes. We do have a fruit break that we have each day. The fruit break we have around about 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Please can you try and remember to pack a fruit snack for your child. This could also be a vegetable snack as well. All of our students require an arts mark up in the visual arts area. They can be using paints and that sort of thing, and knowing how expensive our school uniforms are, we do like to say make sure they have an arts mark. Again, please make sure that these are named and labelled. When we have the reopening of our library, which has now been moved upstairs, we will be having our library session, and our library books will go home in our satchel bags. As Miss Nugent has already touched on, please make sure you're arriving on time for the day so that we can mark attendance and get started with our learning promptly. And as I just mentioned before, also in the satchel we will put any communication that we have in there as well. Our upcoming dates this term, we have our Welcome Community Picnic, which we hope to have on the 26th of March. However, due to the current situation, we're not sure if this will be going ahead. And we also have our swimming program, which hopefully will begin on Friday, the 19th of February. We have had a lot of questions around swimming, which hopefully begins on Friday. This is just a bit of a reminder of things to bring. Please make sure, and you can see we have written named in bold and underlined. Please, 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 can you name all of your children's clothes? Knowing how expensive the uniforms are, when we have 70 preps take off their jumpers, we want to make sure we can return them to the right students. On our swimming days, please get them to wear their swimming clothes underneath their named school uniform, and then they can come to school in flip-flops or thongs because we will be coming in, marking the roll and then getting on the bus. In their bag, they need to have a named bag that we'll take to the pool. And in that bag they need to have a named pair of underwear, a named towel, and some named goggles if your child needs to swim with goggles. And then in their school bag, please ensure that you pack their school shoes. Again, please name them so that we can put them on when we get back to school, and some socks. We would normally have a question time at the end of our session. However, given that it is not a live performance, we are going to have to ask parents to fill in the Google form that we send out if you have any questions, and we will answer those questions and send them back to you, either as one bulk group message if it's things that apply to other students, or if it's a more personal information, we'll reply back to you personally. Thank you so much for your time today, and we hope that this answers any questions that you have about your child's learning at Keysborough Gardens Primary School.